I've had enough. Before we open the champagne, I'm taking out some private trash.
Sign it. Stop dragging her down.
She finally got rid of him. I'm sick of people asking why I married a man in a worn-out suit, driving a broken car, doing nothing but cooking and picking me up.
Brother, if you've fallen this far, stop pretending.
Sign it. Don't make me say it twice. Yes.
Is this what you want? Good. At least you finally know what you're worth. Congratulations. She finally dropped the burden. From now on, you're free. What the hell?
Boss, the men from the west have been waiting a long time. The car's ready.
Then let them pay tonight for every minute they kept me waiting.
East Harbor is stable. The northern line is stable too. The west is starting to get ideas.
Who moved first?
Ronan Pike. He already swallowed 2 lines. He's also meeting Lucian's people. The protection you left in place during the marriage is still running. Tomorrow morning she'll still get that critical backing.
Pull it all.
All of it?
She thought I was in her way, then let her run on her own.
You should have divorced him a long time ago.
Now you finally look like someone who belongs in the capital circle.
Some people belong in a kitchen, not beside you.
When he left, he didn't argue.
Don't think about it. We still have the signing tomorrow morning.
Welcome back, Mr. Knox.
Boss, the board is getting harder to hold down.
Remove the last layer of protection around her first. Then tell everyone, the Beggar King is back.
What?
West first. Ronan moved because someone bigger led him. Find every hand behind him.
Understood.
They're not coming.
Reason?
They said they need to reassess the risk.
Last night, they said everything was locked.
Relax. The market glitches sometimes.
You said everything was arranged.
It was. Someone moved ahead of me this morning.
The second partner has postponed as well. The anonymous bridge funding has also been paused.
This isn't right.
Say that again.
Boss!
3 years of abnormal fund flows are all here. The first patch of names is complete too.
Many people thought you were never coming back, so they forgot whose ground this is.
Ronan swallowed Ronan 2 lines, and he's tied himself to Lucian.
Someone is testing you. Hold the line, and it'll pass.
There's one more problem. The man you trusted most.
Throw it all away. None of this stays? He walked away with nothing. Why keep trash?
Something else went wrong. The anonymous bridge money that was supposed to land this afternoon is gone.
It has never failed before.
That's why I'm saying something is off.
Trace the source.
I did. All access is locked.
2 choices. Talk or disappear tonight.
You really came back.
My absence never killed the rules. Where is Ronan? Send him to North Warehouse.
No! Ronan met a capital broker last night. Someone's backing him from behind.
Name.
I only know the code name. Mr. V.
He's avoiding me.
Maybe he's in a meeting.
No. He said yesterday he would handle it.
This Mr. V is most likely Victor Hale, and the capital behind Victor has been getting far too close to Lane lately.
Keep digging. I want to know who's using her company as the board.
Victor is meeting Lucian tonight.
Is the cash chain in trouble? Is it true the anonymous funding pulled out? Will the stock keep falling?
Lane is fully operational. A few partnership adjustments do not mean the company is in trouble.
She's starting to panic.
Not enough. When she truly can't hold on, that's when the price becomes negotiable.
Ronan's people are still playing dead. If you give the word, we take back the entire Westport tonight.
Move. Take it all back.
West Park accounts frozen. Storage access secured.
A stolen throne never sits steady.
It's lively out there.
You said you would stabilize the market.
I can help, but now the price has changed. I want more equity and 1 board seat. This is profitizing in a fire. No, this is the market.
She'll see it sooner or later.
Finance found it in the old files.
Find out. Now. Who exactly is AK?
We tried. The deep records are all locked.
This is my company.
The one who locked the access outranks even the board.
Impossible.
Someone set up a counter trace. Every layer we dig, another layer gets wiped automatically. If we force it, we'll trigger something far worse.
What I fear most right now isn't trouble. I'm afraid I have no idea what I lost.
8 months. The routes, the accounts, the voting channels, you sold all of it.
I was forced. The boss was gone too long. Everyone thought Knox was about to change hands.
My absence was never your permission to betray me.
I can still fix this.
Then tell me everything you know.
What was it for?
That purge 3 years ago. It wasn't just about taking power.
Be precise.
They knew you'd disappear, so they built a second layer in advance. It wasn't only to stay alive.
Who told you that?
Those 3 years you hid inside the Tendridge Works wasn't better than bullets.
Knox. Was it him? Say it like a human being.
The problem isn't what's missing, it's that everything is too complete. There are registration numbers, but no contemporaneous photos. The company is real, but the personnel file only has scanned copies, no original signatures. Even the rental records look like they were fabricated month by month.
Your conclusion?
He wasn't hiding himself. He was building a fake life people would believe.
You're still thinking about him?
I'm thinking about who I was actually married to for 3 years.
Whoever he is, the company comes first right now.
What if the trouble started the moment I divorced him?
You're making too much of a coincidence.
3 years ago, before you even met her, someone had already tampered with your public identity.
That marriage was tainted from the very beginning.
I want the surveillance footage, visitor logs, and property files from his old residence. Tonight. I want every record on Adrian Knox.
Miss Lane, sorry, the system crashed. A lot of the files are gone.
Was it a system crash, or did someone tell you to keep quiet?
Are you his wife?
Ex-wife.
He was always polite, but strangely, no one ever really saw his friends. Some black cars came at midnight, but every time you came to pick him up, they disappeared.
Did you know who Adrian really is?
Your ex-husband? A man with no real job? Who could he be?
Then explain this.
Rich men rent cars to look important? Nothing unusual. You should be worrying about your company.
You're lying.
You already threw him away. Don't waste time on a dead relationship.
It came from Elena Cross. The Cross family never gives away answers for free.
I know.
And you're still going?
Because she may have the truth I need.
Black cars, missing records, Victor lying. Who were you hiding from or protecting? Adrian. Who are you really? Victor is just bait. I came to see whether the Beggar King has truly returned.
You didn't ask me here to chat.
Lucian is testing you. Ronan is just a fool. Victor is the hook he threw out.
What do you want in return?
Cooperation. I give you the list and you give me a share of the table. I do not offer goodwill to the weak.
We lost this many deals within 48 hours of the IPO. You owe us an explanation.
The market is already questioning our governance.
The company is not out of control.
Everyone, let's not get so tense. This is not the moment for blame. It's the moment to rebuild confidence.
Mr. Victor is willing to coordinate new funding on one condition. The company's governance must be adjusted.
You planned this from the start.
I'm helping you stay alive.
One Lane board member met Victor 6 times in the past month.
I move that Sophie Lane's executive authority be restricted immediately.
You can't do this.
This isn't about you. We're protecting the company.
Suspend the vote!
Unless you can produce a stable funding plan right now.
It's not as if there's no way out. I can lead a new round of syndicated funding.
Terms.
You keep the CEO title, but you give up more equity. And the board gives me one formal seat.
You want to swallow Lane whole?
No, I'm giving you a way to survive.
Maybe we can only say yes for now.
You think I should bow to him too?
I think you don't have a choice.
Victor isn't as big as he makes himself sound. He's more like a knife pushed to the front. The one feeding him resources is hiding deeper. Lucian Drax, one of the masterminds behind the Purge 3 years ago.
He's not testing me. He's forcing me to step in personally.
You gave up the throne for a woman for 3 whole years?
I didn't lose it. I stepped away.
And you came back too late.
Marriage only cost me time. What you lose tonight is every network you built over the last 3 years. East Harbor offshore funds, Nordic shell companies, the Southern Laundromat. I thought I did nothing.
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm informing you.
The 3 backup lines you kept in Europe and the Middle East were frozen at the same time. The 2 intermediaries you Harbor City's capital circle have also gone missing.
Good. So you really did come back to fight. Not to fight, to clear the board.
You still have a weakness. That woman is your crack.
You'd best never touch her.
They want every guarantee term reviewed, and people are asking if we crossed someone we never should have crossed. What I heard is worse.
Adrian? This mark. Back then, it was him.
Impossible. Every single time it was the same line. You saw this long ago, didn't you? Every time thing happened to me, someone knew before we did it and handled it before we could. The merger crisis, the press suppression, the overseas clearance, the media replacement list, it was all the same system. It was that person, Adrian.
Before it was only suspicion. Now, it's not suspicion anymore.
So the one least entitled to look down on him was me. He knew everything. He knew how I treated him, and he still kept protecting me.
Sophie.
I'm going to find him.
What good will it do if you go now?
I don't know, but I have to go. I need to see Adrian Knox.
Appointment information.
I need to see Adrian Knox.
No appointment, no entry.
Tell him Sophia's here.
Sorry, there is no clearance for you inside.
Mr. Knox is not receiving visitors.
I just want to see him once.
Miss Lane, please leave. Sorry, Mr. Knox is not receiving visitors.
Lucian's strongest move isn't the visible assets, it's the shadow money wrapped around Lane.
You want to use her as bait.
More accurately, use her board to drag Lucian's entire net into the open.
She's outside right now.
Don't let her in.
She's already uncovered quite a lot.
Then let her keep digging. Truth has a price. She should taste it herself.
Are you really going to let her stand there all night?
Hasn't she always believed she could endure anything?
The storm hasn't arrived yet. This is only the overture.
You won't even see me once anymore.
What if she doesn't make it through tonight?
If she can't survive tonight, then she isn't worth me looking back.
Beichon Capital is demanding additional guarantees immediately. Legal says they're coming after us for misleading disclosure liability. Online sentiment is out of control.
PR, contain the backlash. Legal, prepare a statement. Finance, rebuild the liquidity table, now!
It's useless. This isn't normal market volatilation. Someone is pulling out our oxygen all at once.
You need to cut the risk immediately. Publicly admit management failure. Take the blame first.
You want me to carry this alone?
It's the most decent way to handle this.
Decent for you, not for me.
You used to get through every crisis, not because you were really that strong.
What do you mean?
Someone had always been covering for you, and now that person is gone.
All these years, we thought it was your father's network helping us. The force we depended on has completely withdrawn.
That person. Why won't you answer me?
Because once some answers are spoken, there's no going back.
I've already passed the point of no return.
I have no proof that every single thing was connected to him. But every time something happened to you, someone moved only for you.
The next day, not one of those women showed up. The time I had a fever, the meeting was suddenly cancelled that morning. His cuffs were soaked with rain. Every time I was about to be humiliated, someone cleared the room first. It was him, all along.
You've been laundering Lucian's books for 10 years and you still want to pretend you know nothing?
I don't know anything.
Then start with this.
Back then, who pushed Sophie towards Adrian? So you do know. Talk.
It wasn't a coincidence.
Finish it.
Someone designed it back then. Sophie getting close to Adrian was never an accident. From the very beginning, she was a pawn.
Who set this up?
At first, it was the old board. Later, Lucian approved it too.
What did they want?
They wanted someone natural, someone who wouldn't make you suspicious. Sophie was the one they chose. She didn't know. She had no idea she'd been placed inside the game.
Originally, how were you planning to use her?
Watch you, influence you, and use her to control you when it mattered. Best of all, force you off that throne for good.
You people were bold enough to dream that far.
You really did disappear for 3 years.
But later things got out of control. Who lost control? Not her. You. She was only a piece on the board, but later you really kept her by your side. You cleaned up after her, cleared her path, and took the blows that should have landed on her. In the end, even we couldn't tell whether you were still acting or whether you truly fell for her.
Take him away.
So back then, when you first got close to her, was it because you already felt something was off?
The first time I saw her, I knew her appearance was too convenient.
Then why didn't you push her away?
Because later I couldn't tell whether I was breaking the trap or keeping her. If she hadn't forced the divorce back then, would you have stayed gone forever?
Start the sweep.
Lucian's transit accounts in Harbor City, his side bet channels, his shell companies. I want the full list before tonight is over. Leave no one out.
Are
Are you really gonna leave her out there alone?
I said it before, a king never looks back.
Mr. Knox' office.
I'm looking for Adrian.
Mr. Knox is busy.
Tell him it's me.
I know.
He refused to see you.
So this is what it feels like. It hurts this much.
I've done everything I could. Lane is almost finished, and Sophie doesn't have much value left.
Then give up the last bit of her value. Mr. Lucian needs a bargaining chip worthy of the table.
Understood.
Victor is making contact with Lucian's people. I suspect he's gonna use Sophie as a disposable piece.
There is a private investor willing to see you tonight.
Come alone.
Send me the address.
Don't be nervous. If this deal goes through, the company can still be saved.
Who is it?
You'll know when you get upstairs.
You lied to me.
Ms. Lane, welcome. Mr. Lucian is very interested in you. Cooperate and perhaps you can still keep some of what's yours.
I came to discuss financing, not to be put on the table and sold.
I just didn't want to die with you.
Can you still walk?
Did he send you?
Move first.
Where is he?
He didn't come. We got her out, but just barely. 5 minutes later, and she might have been dead.
Find Victor.
Sorry, your name isn't on the list?
He isn't merely off the list. From today on, he is not worthy of appearing on any list.
It's just business. There was no need to go this far.
Business? When you put her on the table, why didn't you say that then?
I was forced into it.
Your greatest mistake wasn't betrayal. It was touching someone you never should have touched.
These alone are enough to rot you for life.
I want you alive, so you can watch yourself rot little by little.
Aren't you obsessed with dignity? Then I'll strip it away from you, inch by inch.
Thank you for saving me.
Not for you. Someone touched my chessboard.
Did you save me? Because you still love me?
Lucian has started spreading the word.
An old trick. Make them doubt the throne first, then force the Fensiders to place their bets.
Your suggestion?
Hold a dinner, not an ordinary dinner. A top consortium dinner. Bring the enemies, the opportunists, the Fensiders, and those spectators that are smarter than everyone else to the same table. Let them see with their own eyes who sits at the head of that table.
Do it.
At this point, we are not considering entering the project. Cash flow can hold for 10 more days, maybe less. There is one more person. He may be able to save the company.
How do I get to him?
He may show up at next week's top consortium dinner.
Lucian will come.
What about Sophie?
If she wants to save the company, she will come.
Then I'll find him.
If the money doesn't arrive within 3 days, we won't even be able to make payroll.
Supplier default notices are about to be issued too.
There are only 2 ways into that dinner. Be invited or be brought in by someone who matters.
Which one do we have now?
Neither, but you have to get in, no matter what. It's the last way out.
I've seen this before. In Adrian's old things, there was an identical one.
Maybe. It was never a coincidence.
I'm not going to a dinner. I'm going to beg for our lives.
Lane Group, you're not on the official list.
I'd like to request a meeting with an investor, emergency financing.
Tonight isn't a place where just anyone comes to negotiate terms.
Please check again.
Impossible.
Temporary clearance. Don't wander.
If we really meet that investor tonight, don't reject anything too fast.
How are all these people here at the same time?
The lead has arrived.
Adrian.
Mr. Knox.
Welcome back, Mr. Knox.
I hope you can still smile later.
Now, do you understand?
Gentlemen, if I may.
The figures speak for themselves, Lucien.
Mr. Knox.
If you're here to talk financing, this is your only window. A little later, Mr. Knox won't even see you. Mr. Knox, I'd like to discuss a financing deal with you.
Financing. Weren't you always the one who hated bringing personal relationships into a business table?
I'm not standing here tonight in a personal capacity.
Now, am I finally qualified to stand in your world?
No. It's not that you weren't qualified, it's that I never had the right to step into your world.
Unfortunately, remorse usually has no price at this table. Weren't you always curious whether my position was secure? What, can't bring yourself to decide?
East Harbor, North Sea, the offshore shell layers, all of it is here.
When did you find all this? I had stepped away.
Liquidation representatives present tonight have already received the backup copies.
Which means you don't even have time to fix it now.
So what if you win this round? 3 years ago, you let go for a woman. Today, you may not be able to make the final cut either. No to neither.
I admit it. I was wrong. I misjudged you, and I mistreated you. If you're willing, I can give up control of Lane and accept any conditions you set. I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I'm only asking for a chance to start again.
Don't do this. Not here.
I know.
You should go home.
No. I should have done this sooner. These numbers were buried. What are you not telling me?
Lucien didn't leave empty-handed.
He never does.
Then find what he left behind.
The access point isn't outside.
It's inside Lane.
Signed 3 years ago.
Name?
Daniel Lane.
Wake him up.
Did you sign this?
Yes.
It was pitched as a bridge structure.
And you signed blind?
I signed fast.
This isn't messy. It's weaponized. Can they pin it on Lane?
If Lucien drops the originals, you're not a victim. You're a beneficiary.
If this breaks, we cut management first.
Meaning you.
Get legal. Get audit. We're opening everything.
You really did it.
Mr. Drax has your original file.
What?
You. Alone.
You are not going alone.
Watch me.
This is a trap.
So it was my whole life for 3 years. I'm done standing outside it.
She killed her signal. Keep watching.
She's boxed in.
No more watching.
I don't need Lane. I need proof.
Proof of what?
That Adrian Knox still bleeds where you stand.
You don't get to name what I am anymore.
Give it back.
Come take it.
Take one more step. She's leaving.
I got the file.
Good. Move.
You came.
You made that necessary.
I judged you by money, rooms, titles. I called that vision.
I can survive a divorce. What I couldn't stand, you never really looked at me.
Then look at me now. I'm not asking you to save me. I'm giving you your knife back.
The original closes the loop.
And the cost?
To seal Lucian out, she has to sign herself out first.
One keeps your company, one kills his exit.
You don't get both.
If I keep control, he walks? Eventually.
You built Lane. Don't burn it down for him. Yo, Lane.
We can survive.
Scandal.
We can't survive liquidation.
That's the old me talking through all of you. I'm not listening anymore.
She's not the woman who divorced you.
The question isn't whether she wants back in. It's whether you can admit she earned the door. Then let it cost me.
I'm sorry.
Be useful, leave clean.
It's done.
The war's over. Now you lose your favorite excuse. No emotional leverage? Not this time. If I walk back in, it has to be as me. This isn't a favor request. It's a proposal.
What do you want, Sophie?
A chance to earn my way in.
Monday, 9 a.m. Don't be late.